I am safe now, even if my heart does not believe it yet. I am safe now, even if my chest still feels tight, even if old memories still visit me, even if part of me still waits for something to go wrong. Healing does not always begin with a big change outside you. Sometimes healing begins in the smallest place inside you, in the quiet moment when you stop fighting your own heart and whisper, I do not have to run anymore. I do not have to hold my breath anymore. I do not have to stay strong in the old way anymore. I am allowed to soften. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to be safe in this moment, even before everything in my life feels perfect. There is a part of you that has been carrying too much for too long. It may not speak loudly. It may not ask for help. It may simply show up as tiredness in your body, heaviness in your chest, a lump in your throat, or that quiet feeling that you must always be ready, always careful, always proving that you are okay. But my dear, your heart was never meant to live like a locked room. Your heart was never meant to be guarded every second of the day. It was meant to feel. It was meant to breathe. It was meant to open slowly in its own time, in a way that feels kind and safe. Today, we are not forcing healing. We are not pushing your heart to forgive before it is ready. We are not asking you to pretend the past did not hurt. We are not telling you to smile over pain that still needs love. Today, we are beginning with safety. Not the kind of safety that depends on every person changing, every problem ending, every fear disappearing, or every answer arriving at once. We are beginning with a deeper safety, the safety of coming back to yourself, the safety of placing one hand on your heart and saying, I am here now. I am listening now. I will not leave myself now. Maybe those words feel small, but small words can open deep doors. A soft sentence repeated with love can become a new home inside your mind. One gentle breath can interrupt years of fear. One kind thought can begin to change the way your body holds the past. You do not need to heal everything today. You only need to give yourself permission to begin. Begin where you are. Begin with the breath you have. Begin with the body that has carried you through so much. Begin with the heart that is still beating, still trying, still waiting for your kindness. Say this gently inside yourself. I am safe now. I am safe to breathe. I am safe to feel what I feel. I am safe to be honest with myself. I am safe to stop fighting my own heart. Do not rush these words. Let them touch the places that have been afraid. Let them enter the part of you that still feels like it must earn rest. Let them reach the part of you that thinks healing means becoming perfect. You do not need to become perfect to heal. You do not need to be calm every minute to heal. You do not need to understand every wound before your heart can begin to feel lighter. Healing is not a test. Healing is a return. It is a slow return to the truth that you are allowed to be loved, allowed to be held, allowed to be gentle with yourself. For so long, you may have believed that safety would come later. Later, when life becomes easier. Later, when the right person understands you. Later, when the pain stops. Later, when the body relaxes. Later, when the mind becomes quiet. Later, when the past makes sense. But what if safety can begin right here, not as a perfect feeling, but as a loving choice? What if you can tell your nervous system, I know you are scared, but we are not there anymore. We are here. We are breathing. We are learning a new way. The old mind says, stay guarded. Love says, soften 1 inch. The old mind says, remember every hurt so it cannot happen again. Love says, remember your strength too. The old mind says, you are not safe unless you control everything. Love says, you can be safe in this breath, even without controlling the whole path. The old mind speaks from fear because it wants to protect you. Do not hate it for that. It learned what it learned because something once felt too painful, too sudden, or too much. But now you can guide it with a softer voice. You can say, thank you for trying to keep me safe. I choose a new thought now. That is where the healing begins. Not in arguing with yourself, not in blaming yourself for being afraid, not in forcing yourself to be over it. Healing begins when you become a safe place for your own heart. When fear rises, you do not attack it. When sadness appears, you do not shame it. When anger knocks, you do not call it wrong. You listen, you breathe, you bring love into the room. You do not let the old pain become the only voice. You let your deeper self speak too. Right here, breathe, soften, listen. There is a doorway inside. EU. It does not open through pressure. It opens through permission. Every time you say, I am safe now, you stand before that doorway with kindness. You are not kicking it open. You are not demanding that your heart become light in one day. You are simply saying, when you are ready, I am here. When you are ready, we can begin. When you are ready, we can put down one small piece of what we have been carrying. For the next few moments, notice your body. Notice the air near your face. Notice the way your shoulders may be holding the day. Notice the small space between one breath and the next. Notice your hands, may be closed, may be open, may be tired from holding more than anyone can see. You do not need to change all of it. Just notice. The body loves to be noticed without judgment. The heart loves to be heard without being rushed. The inner child loves to know someone is finally staying. My dear, you may have spent years trying to heal by being hard on yourself. You may have thought, if I criticize myself enough, I will change. If I push myself enough, I will become better. If I ignore the pain enough, it will go away. But harshness does not heal the heart. It only teaches the heart to hide. Criticism does not create safety. It creates more fear. The heart opens when it feels loved. The body relaxes when it feels safe. The mind changes when it is guided with patience. So today, let the first teaching be simple. You are not broken. You are healing. You are not behind. You are returning. You are not weak because you feel deeply. You are alive, and your heart is asking for a kinder way to be held. I am safe now. I am allowed to heal slowly. I am allowed to stop punishing myself. I am allowed to meet my pain with love. I am allowed to come home to my own heart. Maybe you do not fully believe it yet. That is okay. You do not need perfect belief to begin. You only need willingness, a small yes, a quiet yes. A yes that says, I am willing to be kinder to myself today. I am willing to stop speaking to myself like I am the problem. I am willing to let my heart be treated as something sacred, not something difficult. Think of your heart as a room that has been closed for a long time. Not because it is empty, but because it has been protecting what is tender. Maybe the curtains have been drawn. Maybe the windows have been shut. Maybe the air inside feels heavy from all the words never spoken, all the tears held back, all the love you gave away without saving any for yourself. Today you are not tearing the room apart. You are not demanding brightness all at once. You are simply opening one window. Just one. Enough for a little air. Enough for a little light. Enough for the heart to remember that life can enter again. This is how safety returns. One window, one breath, one softer thought, one hand on the heart, one moment where you choose not to abandon yourself. And when you say, I am safe now, you are not saying that everything outside you is perfect. You are not saying the past was okay. You are not saying your feelings do not matter. You are saying, I no longer give the past full control over this moment. I no longer let old pain decide how much love I am allowed to receive. I no longer live as though I must stay frozen forever. Something new is allowed to begin in me. There may be a part of you that asks, but what if I open and get hurt again? What if I trust and it fails? What if I heal and still feel sadness? Let that part speak. Do not silence it. It has been waiting to be heard. Then answer with love. Say, we will go slowly. We will listen to our body. We will choose safe people, safe spaces, safe thoughts. We will not force ourselves. We will not rush. We will not confuse healing with giving everyone access to us. We can open and still have boundaries. We can love and still honor ourselves. We can heal and still move wisely. That matters. Safety does not mean saying yes to everything. Safety does not mean letting old patterns return. Safety does not mean pretending every person is good for your heart. True safety includes care. It includes choice. It includes learning to say no without guilt. It includes learning to pause before giving your energy away. It includes asking, does this feel loving to my heart? Does this feel peaceful in my body? Does this help me come home to myself, or does it pull me back into fear? Your heart is allowed to have a voice. Your body is allowed to have wisdom. Your peace is allowed to matter. For 30 seconds, imagine speaking to yourself as someone you deeply love, not as a project, not as a mistake, not as someone who needs fixing, as someone precious, someone who has been through hard things and still deserves tenderness. How would your tone change? How would your breath change? How would your body feel if you stopped treating yourself like a problem and started treating yourself like a person worthy of care? That is the doorway. That is the beginning. That is where the words "I am safe" now stop being only words and begin to become an atmosphere. I am safe in my own love. I am safe to be gentle with myself. I am safe to choose peace one breath at a time. I am safe to let healing begin. Give yourself permission to heal your heart, even if no one else understands the way it hurts. Give yourself permission to heal, even if the pain looks invisible from the outside. Give yourself permission to heal, even if you have been strong for so long that people forgot you also need softness. You do not need approval to take care of your heart. You do not need to explain every wound before you are allowed to rest. You do not need to prove that your pain was real before you are allowed to be kind to yourself. Many hearts stay in pain not because healing is impossible, but because permission never came. Somewhere along the way, you may have learned to keep going no matter what. Keep smiling, keep working, keep giving, keep answering, keep being useful, keep being easy, keep being fine. And maybe, little by little, your heart began to believe that its own needs were too much. Its sadness was too much. Its tiredness was too much. Its longing was too much. So it learned to wait. It waited for the right time to feel. It waited for someone to notice. It waited for life to become quiet enough. It waited and waited while you kept moving through the world with a heart that needed your attention. But today, you do not need to wait for a perfect time. You do not need a perfect morning, a perfect mood, or a perfect life. You can begin with one breath. You can begin by saying, "My heart matters. My healing matters. My feelings are not a burden. My tenderness is not a weakness. My need for love is not something to hide. That sentence alone can begin to loosen what has been tight inside you. My heart matters. Say it slowly. My heart matters. Not because it performs, not because it gives, not because it never complains, not because it has never made mistakes. Your heart matters because it is yours, because it has carried you through things that changed you, because it has kept beating even when you did not know how to keep going, because it still hopes even after disappointment, because it still wants to love even after being hurt. There is nothing shameful about needing healing. A wound is not proof of failure. A wound is a place asking for care. When the body is hurt, you do not call it weak for needing time. You do not blame a cut for needing protection. You do not tell a bruise to hurry up and disappear because it makes you uncomfortable. You give it care. You give it space. You give it what helps. Your heart deserves the same kindness. My dear, maybe your heart has been carrying old words. Words someone said, words someone did not say. Words you wished you had heard when you needed comfort. Maybe your heart has been carrying endings that never felt complete. Maybe it has been carrying love that had nowhere to go. Maybe it has been carrying guilt, regret, fear, or the pain of trying to be chosen by places that could not see your worth. Whatever it has carried, it does not have to carry it with shame. You are allowed to say, "This hurt me." You are allowed to say, "I needed more." You are allowed to say, "I miss who I was before I learned to protect myself so much." You are allowed to say, "I am tired of pretending I am not tired." You are allowed to tell the truth inside yourself without making your feelings wrong. This is not about blaming. This is not about living in the past. This is not about making pain your identity. This is about honesty. And honesty is a clean place to begin healing. When you stop denying what your heart feels, the heart can stop using all its energy to hide. When you stop pretending you are fine, the body can finally exhale. When you stop telling yourself you should be over it, something inside you begins to feel safe enough to soften. Notice that word, should. It can be heavy. I should be stronger. I should be over this. I should not still feel this. I should have known better. I should not need so much time. These thoughts may sound like discipline, but they often carry shame, and shame does not heal. Shame freezes. Shame closes the heart. Shame makes you hide from the very love you need. Love speaks differently. Love says, "Of course this hurt." Love says, "Take your time." Love says, "You are not bad for feeling." Love says, "Your healing has its own rhythm." Love says, "Come closer, not because you are perfect, but because you are precious." Breathe. Let that land. You are precious even while you are healing. You are worthy even while you are learning. You are lovable even when your heart feels messy, tender, unsure, or afraid. Today, Give yourself permission to stop asking pain to disappear before you offer it love. Offer love now. Offer care now. Offer patience now. You do not have to wait until you are fully healed to treat yourself gently. You treat yourself gently, and that becomes part of how healing happens. For 2 minutes, you can begin a simple practice. Place your attention on your heart area. You do not need to close your eyes if you do not want to. You do not need to do anything special. Just bring a soft awareness there. Imagine your breath moving around the heart, not forcing anything, not trying to change anything, just making space. Then say inside yourself, I give myself permission to heal. I give myself permission to feel safe. I give myself permission to stop carrying what is no longer mine. These are not just pretty words. They are new instructions for the inner world. For a long time, your heart may have been told to wait. Now you are telling it, you may begin. For a long time, your body may have been told to stay alert. Now you are telling it, you may soften. For a long time, your mind may have been told to protect through fear. Now you are telling it, we can protect through love too. The old mind says, if you soften, you will lose control. The soul says, if you soften, you will finally hear what needs care. The old mind says, if you feel it, it will swallow you. The soul says, if you feel it with love, it can move through you. The old mind says, stay busy so you do not have to know the truth. The soul says, the truth is not here to destroy you. It is here to free the part of you that has been waiting. This is the part many people skip. They want healing to look like immediate peace. They want the heart to become light without first being heard. They want the wound to close before they have touched it with compassion. But your heart is not a machine. You cannot press a button and make it forget. You cannot command it into peace. You can only create the conditions where peace feels possible. Kind words, safe breath, gentle attention, honest feeling, loving boundaries. Time. Think of your heart as a garden after a long dry season. The soil may be cracked. The flowers may look tired. Some places may seem empty. But emptiness is not the end of a garden. Dry soil can receive rain. Roots can wake up. New green can return slowly. The garden does not need you to scream at it to grow. It needs water, light, patience, and care. Your heart is the same. It does not need more pressure. It needs a safer climate. What is the rain for your heart today? Maybe it is rest. Maybe it is silence. Maybe it is writing one honest line in a notebook. Maybe it is drinking water and speaking kindly to your body. Maybe it is not answering a message right away. Maybe it is forgiving yourself for not healing faster. Maybe it is saying no. Maybe it is saying, I need support. Maybe it is choosing not to replay an old hurt for the 10th time today. Maybe it is opening your hands and letting the body know, I am not fighting myself anymore. Small care counts. One breath counts. One soft sentence counts. One moment of not abandoning yourself counts. You may think healing must be dramatic to be real, but often healing is quiet. It is the moment you do not insult yourself after a mistake. It is the moment you let yourself cry without calling yourself weak. It is the moment you stop chasing someone who makes your heart feel small. It is the moment you choose food, sleep, water, and rest because your body deserves support. It is the moment you realize that peace is not something you earn by suffering enough. Peace is something you practice by returning to love. I give myself permission to heal. I give myself permission to feel. I give myself permission to rest. I give myself permission to be held by my own love. Let these words move like warm water through the heart. Not fast, not loud, just steady. The heart often trusts what is repeated gently. If you say one loving sentence once, the old fear may not believe it. That is okay. Say it again tomorrow. Say it again when your chest tightens. Say it again when you wake up and feel the old heaviness. Say it again when you want to blame yourself. The mind learned fear through repetition. It can learn love through repetition too. My dear, healing your heart does not mean you never remember. It does not mean you never feel sad again. It does not mean you become someone who is always calm. It means the memory no longer has the same power to pull you away from yourself. It means sadness can visit without becoming your whole home. It means fear can rise, and you can answer it with a deeper truth. It means you stop building your life around the wound and begin building it around love. There is a difference between protecting your heart and closing your heart. Protection says, I honor my peace. Closing says, I will never feel again. Protection says, I choose what is healthy for me. Closing say that I will not let anything good in either. Protection comes from wisdom. Closing often comes from fear. You do not need to judge yourself if you closed. You did what you knew how to do. You survived in the way you could. But now, slowly, gently, you can learn another way. You can keep your wisdom and release the wall. You can keep your boundaries and let love breathe. You can protect your peace without locking away your tenderness. That is a powerful kind of healing. Not becoming hard, not becoming cold, not pretending nothing touches you, but becoming safe enough inside yourself that you no longer need to disappear from your own heart. Maybe the heart asks, how do I begin? Begin by not rushing. Begin by not shaming. Begin by not calling your feelings too much. Begin by creating one small place of safety each day. A quiet chair, a warm cup in your hands, a slow breath before checking your phone, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the softness of a blanket around your shoulders. The simple act of saying, I am allowed to be here as I am. You are allowed to be here as you are. Not only when you are cheerful, not only when you are productive, not only when you are easy to understand, not only when your healing looks beautiful. You are allowed to be here with your questions, with your tenderness, with your slow progress, with your quiet hope. You are allowed to take up space in your own life. For 1 minute today, stop asking yourself what is wrong with me, and ask instead, what part of me needs love right now? That question can change everything. It moves you out of attack and into care. It turns the heart from a problem into a place of listening. Maybe the part that needs love is the tired part. Maybe it is the scared part. Maybe it is the part that still misses something. Maybe it is the part that feels guilty. Maybe it is the part that does not know how to trust. Whatever part appears, meet it gently. Do not demand that it become wise before you love it. Love it first. Love first, then healing. Love first, then clarity. Love first, then strength. Love first, then a new way. The heart does not heal through force. It heals through safety, truth, and tenderness. It heals when you stop treating pain like an enemy and begin treating it like a message from a part of you that needs care. It heals when you stop dragging yourself toward peace and start allowing peace to meet you where you are. It heals when you understand that being gentle with yourself is not weakness, it is wisdom. There is a kind of pressure that can hide inside spiritual growth. The pressure to be calm, the pressure to forgive quickly, the pressure to stay positive, the pressure to turn every wound into a lesson before the heart has even had time to breathe. But my dear, true healing is not another performance. You do not have to prove that you are spiritual by ignoring pain. You do not have to prove that you are strong by never needing comfort. You do not have to prove that you are growing by moving faster than your heart can safely move. The heart has its own timing. A flower does not open because you pull at its petals. It opens when warmth, light, and life call it from within. If you pull too hard, you do not make it bloom faster. You only hurt what was becoming. Your heart is like that. It cannot be forced open. It must feel safe enough to unfold. Maybe you have been trying to heal by pushing yourself to be okay, pushing yourself to stop thinking about it, pushing yourself to act normal, pushing yourself to give more, do more, understand more, accept more. And maybe from the outside, it looked like you were doing well. But inside, something felt tired. Because pushing is not the same as healing. Pushing can move you through a day, but it cannot give your heart the softness it needs. Force says, hurry up. Love says, take the next breath. Force says, why are you still feeling this? Love says, I am here with you while you feel it. Force says, be better now. Love says, you are already worthy while you heal. Force says, hide the messy parts. Love says, bring them closer. They need warmth. Can you feel the difference? One voice tightens the body, the other gives the body room. One voice makes the heart close, the other lets it open a little. One voice repeats the old pain in a new form, the other begins a new relationship with yourself. Healing your heart is not about winning a battle against your past. It is about no longer letting the past decide how you speak to yourself. It is about no longer using the pain as proof that you are unlovable. It is about no longer turning someone else's inability to love you into your own inner sentence. What happened may have hurt you, but it does not get to define the full truth of you. The wound may explain some of your fear, but it does not erase your worth. The old story may be loud, but it is not the only story alive in you. There is another story, a softer one, a truer one. It says, I survived, and now I am learning to live with an open heart again. It says, I was hurt, but I am not made only of hurt. It says, I learned to protect myself, and now I can learn to comfort myself. It says, I am safe now to begin again in a kinder way. Notice your chest as these words arrive. Notice if it tightens, warms, aches, or stays quiet. All of it is welcome. Some hearts do not open right away because they have been rushed too many times. Some hearts need to know that you will not turn healing into another demand. So tell your heart now, we can go slowly, we can go gently, we can stop when we need to, we can breathe, we can begin again tomorrow. I will not force you, I will stay with you. That sentence is medicine. I will not force you, I will stay with you. How many times has the heart needed to hear that? How many times did it need someone to stay without fixing, without judging, without rushing to explain the pain away? Now you can become that presence for yourself. You can sit beside your own heart like a calm friend. You can listen without needing every answer. You can be with what is tender without making it wrong. This is not passive. This is deep inner work. It takes courage to sit with your own heart without running. It takes courage to feel without drowning. It takes courage to say, I will not abandon myself even when the old pain rises. It takes courage to choose gentle thoughts when the mind is used to fear. It takes courage to rest when your old identity was built on always being useful. It takes courage to heal slowly in a world that praises speed. You are allowed to heal slowly. Slowly does not mean nothing is happening. Seeds grow slowly in the dark before anything appears above the soil. The moon changes slowly, night by night, and still the sky listens. The body heals many things quietly before you can see the change. Your heart may be healing in ways you do not yet recognize. Maybe you pause before reacting. Maybe you cry instead of going numb. Maybe you say no once, where before you would have betrayed yourself. Maybe you notice tension in your body and breathe instead of blaming yourself. Maybe you feel sadness and do not turn it into shame. These are not small things. These are signs of return. The next part is important. Healing does not always feel peaceful at first. Sometimes, when the heart begins to feel safe, it releases what it had been holding. Tears may come, old feelings may rise, the body may feel tired. You may need more rest. This does not mean you are going backward. It may mean that something inside you finally trusts you enough to be seen. Do not panic when old feelings appear. Meet them with the truth. I am safe now. This is a feeling. It can move through me. I can hold myself with love. Feelings are like weather passing through the inner sky. Fear may move through. Sadness may move through. Anger may move through. Longing may move through. But you are not only the weather, you are also the sky that holds it. You are the awareness that can breathe. You are the love that can stay. You are the presence that can say, I feel this and I am still here. For 90 seconds, try not to fix anything. Just breathe with what is here. Let the shoulders drop a little. Let the jaw loosen. Let the hands rest. If the heart feels heavy, let it be heavy without calling it wrong. If the mind is busy, let it be busy without chasing every thought. If the body feels nothing, let that be okay too. Numbness is not failure. Sometimes numbness is a tired protector. It may soften when it feels safe. You do not need to break through it. You can simply sit nearby with love. I do not force my heart. I listen to my heart. I do not rush my healing. I honor my healing. I do not shame my feelings. I hold them with love. Let this become the new way. Not pressure, presence. Not force, friendship. Not shame, safety. My dear, your heart has already been through enough hardness. It does not need your healing journey to become another hard place. It needs a room inside you where it can rest. A room where it is not judged for remembering. A room where it is not mocked for hoping. A room where it is not punished for needing time. Create that room with your words. Create it with your breath. Create it with the way you respond when you feel pain. When the old ache rises, instead of saying, "Why am I like this?" say something in me needs care. When fear rises, instead of saying, I am failing, say, my body is asking for safety. When sadness rises, instead of saying, I should be over this, say, my heart is releasing what it could not release before. When anger rises, instead of saying, I am bad, say, my boundaries are trying to speak. This is how you turn inner attack into inner listening. And when you listen, you may discover that the heart does not only carry pain, it carries wisdom too. It knows what feels heavy. It knows what feels peaceful. It knows when you are saying yes from love and when you are saying yes from fear. It knows when you need rest. It knows when something in you is ready to grow. The heart may not speak in long explanations. It may speak through the body, a tight chest, a calm breath, a warm feeling, a closed throat, a quiet pull towards something kind. Learn this language. It is simple, but it is deep. You do not need to understand everything today. You only need to stop being cruel to the parts of you that are still learning. That is enough for this moment, truly enough. There is freedom in letting healing be human. Some days you will feel open. Some days you will feel guarded. Some days the affirmation will feel true. Some days it will feel far away. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will need to begin with one breath and nothing more. Do not turn this into a reason to judge yourself. The path is not a straight line. It is a return again and again to love. Again and again I choose love. Again and again I return to safety. Again and again I give my heart time. Again and again I begin softly. If you forget, return. If you close, return. If you cry, return. If you feel numb, return. If you become afraid, return. Return does not mean you failed. Return means you remembered. Return means the loving part of you is still alive. Return means healing is still possible. Think of healing as a bridge, not a jump. You do not need to leap from pain to peace in one moment. You cross one plank at a time. One honest breath, one kind sentence, one boundary, one quiet morning, one choice not to repeat the old self-attack, one moment of saying, I am safe now, even if I am still learning what safety feels like. Every step matters. Every small act of care becomes part of the bridge. And as you walk that bridge, you may notice that your heart begins to trust you more. Not because you never feel pain, but because you no longer leave when pain appears. Not because you have all the answers, but because you are willing to listen. Not because life is perfect, but because you have begun to create a loving place within yourself. That place becomes your inner home, a place you can return to when the world feels loud, a place where your heart can breathe, a place where the words I am safe now are not forced, but practiced with patience until the body slowly learns, maybe I can soften here. Maybe I can rest here. Maybe I can heal here. I am safe to heal in my own time. I am safe to stop forcing my heart. I am safe to choose tenderness. I am safe to become my own loving home. Your body is listening to the way you speak to yourself. It listens when you wake up and your first thought is heavy. It listens when you blame yourself for being tired. It listens when you call your feelings too much. It listens when you hurry through pain and pretend nothing touched you. But it also listens when you choose a softer sentence. It listens when you say, I am safe now. It listens when you say, I can take one breath before I react. It listens when you say, I do not have to fight myself today. Every word you repeat becomes part of the inner world your body lives in. For a long time, your body may have learned fear as a daily language. It may have learned to tighten before something even happens. It may have learned to scan the room, read every tone, sense every change, and prepare for disappointment before it arrives. This is not because your body is against you. It is because your body has been trying to protect you with the tools it knew. It learned from old moments. It learned from pain. It learned from stress. It learned from times when you did not feel held, seen, or safe. So now, even when the present is calmer, the body may still behave as if danger is close. This is why healing must be gentle. You cannot shame the body into safety. You cannot shout at fear and expect peace to come. You cannot punish your nervous system for being careful. The body relaxes when it feels trusted. It softens when it receives steady kindness. It opens when it realizes that this moment is not the old moment. The body needs proof, not pressure. It needs repeated moments of calm. It needs your voice to become a place of comfort instead of another place of stress. Begin with the simplest truth. I am here now. I am breathing now. I am safe in this moment. Nothing needs to be solved in this exact second. I can let my shoulders drop. I can let my hands unclench. I can let my heart know that I am staying with it. These words may feel simple, but they are powerful because they speak to the part of you that does not understand long explanations. Fear does not always calm down through logic. Sometimes fear needs a soft tone. Sometimes the body needs rhythm. Sometimes the heart needs the same loving words again and again until they begin to feel familiar. You are not trying to impress the mind. You are teaching the body a new feeling. Your body may carry memory in quiet ways, a tight stomach, a fast heartbeat, a dry throat, heavy arms, a tired back, a restless mind at night, a sudden urge to pull away when something feels too close. These are not signs that you are broken. They are signs that something in you is asking for attention. The body speaks in feelings before it speaks in words. It asks through tension. It asks through fatigue. It asks through pain. It asks through the way it contracts when the heart remembers something old. Instead of saying, "What is wrong with me?" Try saying, "What is my body trying to protect me from right now?" This question changes the whole tone of healing. It turns frustration into care. It turns fear into communication. It turns the body from an enemy into a messenger. You may not get a clear answer right away, and that is okay. Sometimes the answer is only, "I am tired." Sometimes the answer is, "I need rest." Sometimes the answer is, "I do not feel safe with this thought." Sometimes the answer is, "I need to stop pretending." Your body is not asking you to fix everything at once. It is asking you to listen. It is asking you to notice when your breath becomes short. It is asking you to slow down before you force yourself through another day without love. It is asking you to stop treating your limits like failures. It is asking you to stop using harsh words as if they will make you stronger. Deep strength does not come from being cruel to yourself. Deep strength comes from becoming safe enough inside that you no longer need to live in constant defense. Say this softly. My body is allowed to feel safe. My body is allowed to rest. My body is allowed to release what it has held for too long. My body is not my enemy. My body is my home. Let the word home touch you. Your body is the home you live in every day. You may have judged it, pushed it, ignored it, compared it, or demanded more from it than it could give. But it has stayed with you through every season. It carried you through grief, fear, change, silence, and moments no one else saw. Even when you felt lost, your body kept breathing. Even when your heart was heavy, your body kept holding you. Even when you forgot to be gentle, your body still tried to protect you. Maybe today is the day you stop fighting the home that has carried you. Maybe today is the day you place a hand on your chest and say, "I am sorry, I have been so hard on you." Maybe today is the day you stop speaking to your body like it has failed you and begin speaking to it like it has survived with you. That shift matters. The body feels the difference between attack and love. When you wake up, before the day begins to pull you in many directions, give your body one kind sentence. Not a long speech, not a perfect practice. Just one sentence. I am safe to move through this day slowly. I do not have to rush my heart. I can meet this day one breath at a time. Let that be the first seed you plant in the mind. If the old fear comes later, you can return to it. If the body tightens, you can return to it. If the mind becomes loud, you can return to it. The mind may ask, how can one sentence change anything? But your whole inner life has been shaped by repeated sentences. Some were spoken by others. Some were learned from pain. Some were repeated quietly for years until they felt like truth. I am not enough. I must do more. I cannot relax. I have to be ready. I will be left. I am too much. I am alone. These sentences were not born as truth. They became familiar through repetition. And what is learned through repetition can be softened through repetition too. You can choose new sentences, not fake ones, not empty ones, loving ones that your body can begin to receive. I am learning to feel safe. I am learning to trust my breath. I am learning to listen to my heart. I am learning to speak kindly to myself. I am learning to rest without guilt. I am learning to let love reach the places that fear has guarded. Notice the words, I am learning. They give you space. They do not demand instant change. They do not shame you for old patterns. They remind you that healing is a practice. You are allowed to be new at this. You are allowed to need time. You are allowed to forget and return. You are allowed to feel fear and still choose a softer thought. There may be moments when the old inner voice becomes loud. It may say, you should be further ahead. It may say, you should not still hurt. It may say, you are too sensitive. It may say, no one will understand you. Do not fight that voice with more anger. Do not give it control either. Place a gentle boundary around it. Say, I hear the fear, but I choose love now. I hear the old thought, but I do not have to obey it. I hear the pain, but I will not use it to punish myself. This is how you begin to become safe inside. You do not need to destroy every fearful thought. You simply stop treating every fearful thought as the truth. A thought can pass through you without becoming your home. A memory can rise without becoming your identity. A feeling can be felt without becoming your future. You can witness what appears and choose the voice you will strengthen. Your breath is one of the simplest doors back to safety. When fear rises, the breath often becomes small. When you bring kindness to the breath, the body begins to receive a new message. You do not need a special method. You can simply breathe in and think, I am here. Breathe out and think, I am safe now. Breathe in and think, I can soften. Breathe out and think, I release the fight. Let the breath become a quiet hand on the shoulder of your heart. You may not feel calm right away. That does not mean it is not working. Sometimes the first sign of healing is not peace. Sometimes the first sign is noticing. You notice that you are tense. You notice that you are afraid. You notice that you are speaking harshly to yourself. You notice that you are about to close down. This noticing is not small. It is the beginning of choice. Before noticing, the old pattern moves on its own. After noticing, you can pause. And in that pause, even a small pause, a new life can begin. The body loves pauses. It loves the moment you stop pushing and simply breathe. It loves when you drink water slowly. It loves when you step away from noise. It loves when you rest your eyes. It loves when you loosen your jaw. It loves when you stop holding your stomach in and let yourself exist. It loves when you choose one moment of quiet instead of filling every space with worry. These simple things tell the body we are not in danger right now. We are allowed to come down from the old alertness. Let safety become physical. Let it live in your shoulders, your hands, your breath, your face, your belly, your feet. Let it be more than an idea. Feel your feet touching the ground. Feel the support beneath you. Let your body know, I do not have to float outside myself. I can come back. I can be here. I can live in this body with more kindness than before. For some, coming back to the body can feel tender. If your body has carried pain, it may take time to feel like home again. Go slowly. You do not need to force closeness. You can begin with simple respect. Thank you, body, for carrying me. Thank you, heart, for beating for me. Thank you, breath, for staying with me. Thank you, hands, for holding so much. Thank you, feet, for bringing me to this moment. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it can begin to rebuild trust. Trust grows when you keep showing up. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just steadily. Each time you choose a kind word over a cruel one, trust grows. Each time you pause before abandoning yourself, trust grows. Each time you listen to the body instead of forcing it past its limits, trust grows. Each time you say, I am safe now, and then act in a way that honors safety, trust grows. The body learns from what you practice. If you practice rushing, it learns pressure. If you practice fear, it learns tension. If you practice self-blame, it learns shame. But if you practice kindness, it begins to learn peace. If you practice slower breathing, it begins to learn rest. If you practice gentle words, it begins to learn that your inner voice can be trusted. This does not happen in one moment, but it does happen one moment at a time. Today, choose one thought that feels safe enough to repeat. Not a thought that feels too big. Not a thought your body rejects. Choose something simple. I am learning to be safe with myself. I can be gentle today. My heart does not need to hurry. I can return to peace one breath at a time. Carry it through the day like a small light. When the mind becomes loud, return into it. When the body tightens, return to it. When the old story tries to take over, return to it. You are teaching yourself a new inner language, a language where love is stronger than shame, a language where safety is practiced, not forced, a language where the body is honored, not attacked, a language where the heart is heard, not rushed. And with time, the body begins to understand. It begins to trust that you will not use pain against yourself anymore. It begins to soften because your presence becomes kinder. It begins to believe that this moment can be different from what came before. I am safe now. My body can learn safety. My thoughts can become softer. My breath can bring me home. My heart can heal in a gentle way. There is an old story that may have followed you for many years. It may not sound like a story because it feels so familiar. It may sound like truth. It may whisper, "I am not enough." It may whisper, "Love is not safe." It may whisper, "I always have to be strong." It may whisper, "If I relax, something bad will happen." It may whisper, "I must hold on to pain so I do not forget." But a story can feel true and still not be the deepest truth. A story can be repeated for years and still be ready to change. You do not need to fight the old story to release it. Fighting often gives it more power. When you fight a thought with fear, the body still feels fear. When you hate an old part of yourself, the heart still feels unsafe. When you demand that the old story disappear, it may become louder because it wants to be heard. Release does not always happen through force. Sometimes release happens through understanding. Sometimes the old story loosens when you stop arguing with it and begin seeing where it came from. The old story began somewhere. It may have begun in moments when you felt unseen. It may have begun when love felt uncertain. It may have begun when you had to be quiet about your needs. It may have begun when you gave too much and received too little. It may have begun when your heart learned to protect itself by expecting less. Whatever its beginning, the story was once a form of protection. It tried to help you make sense of pain. It tried to prepare you. It tried to keep you from being surprised by hurt again. But what protected you in one season may limit you in another. A wall may help during a storm, but if it never opens, it also keeps out sunlight. A belief may help you survive when you feel powerless, but if you carry it forever, it may keep you from receiving the love, peace, and freedom your heart now needs. You do not have to hate the old story. You can thank it for trying to protect you and then gently choose a new one. Say inside yourself, "I see the old story. I understand why it came. I do not need to live inside it forever. I can choose a kinder truth now." A kinder truth does not deny what happened. It does not pretend pain was not real. It does not ask you to forget. It simply refuses to let pain become the final word over your life. The kinder truth says, "Yes, I was hurt and I am still worthy of love. Yes, I felt unsafe before and I can learn safety now. Yes, I was disappointed, and my heart can still open in wise ways. Yes, I carried sadness, and I can also carry hope." This is not about erasing memory. It is about changing your relationship with memory. The memory may be part of your past, but it does not need to be the ruler of your present. It may explain why certain things feel hard, but it does not decide what is possible for you now. It may have shaped old fears, but it does not own your future. You can honor what happened without building your whole identity around it. Sometimes the old story shows up as a sentence you repeat without noticing. I always get hurt. Nothing works for me. I cannot trust myself. I am hard to love. I never get what I need. These sentences may feel honest in moments of pain, but they can also become chains. They can train the heart to expect sorrow and reject peace before it arrives. They can make the body tense even when something gentle is near. They can make you look for proof of pain and miss proof of love. Do not shame yourself for having these thoughts. Just notice them. Awareness is the first opening. When the thought comes, say, "This is the old story speaking." I do not have to call it truth. I can listen without obeying. Then place a new sentence beside it, not a forced sentence, a healing sentence. I have been hurt, and I am learning to trust myself. Some things were painful, and I am still open to peace. My past affected me, but it does not own me. My heart is tender, and tenderness can be guided with wisdom. The old story may not leave the first time you choose a new thought. That is okay. It took time to form, and it may take time to loosen. Healing is often the practice of choosing the new truth many times, even while the old one is still loud. You are not failing because the old thought returns. You are healing because you recognize it sooner. You are healing because you no longer believe it with your whole body. You are healing because you can pause and say, "I choose differently now." Imagine holding a heavy bag in your hands. At first, you may not even realize you are holding it because you have carried it for so long. It feels normal. It feels like part of you. But then one day, you look down and see the weight. You notice how tired your arms are. You notice how much energy it takes to carry what no longer belongs in this moment. Releasing does not mean you throw it away with anger. It may begin by setting it down for 1 minute. Just one. Then another. Then another. The body learns that it can exist without holding the old weight every second. You can do this with thoughts. You can set down the thought, "I must solve everything right now." You can set down the thought, "I have to protect everyone from my feelings." You can set down the thought, "My pain makes me unworthy." You can set down the thought, "I cannot rest until everything is fixed." Set it down for 1 breath. Let your hands open. Let your shoulders lower. Let your inner voice say, "I do not have to carry this in the same way today." Some things are not released in one grand moment. They are released through many small permissions. Permission to stop replaying the same conversation. Permission to stop asking why you were not loved better by those who could not offer more. Permission to stop measuring your worth through someone else's attention. Permission to stop returning to the place inside your mind where you are always the one at fault. Permission to leave the old room of blame and enter a new room of care. The heart may ask, Who am I without this story? If I am not the one who must always be strong, who am I? If I am not the one who must earn love, who am I? If I am not the one who must stay guarded, who am I? These questions can feel frightening because the old story may have become familiar, even if it hurt. But you are not losing yourself when you release a painful story. You are meeting more of yourself. You are making room for the parts of you that were hidden under survival. There is a softer self beneath the old story, a self that can breathe, a self that can receive, a self that can rest without feeling guilty, a self that can love without disappearing, a self that can speak honestly without fear of being too much, a self that can choose peace without needing to explain it. This self has always been there. It may have been quiet, but it was never gone. Speak to that self now. I know you are still here. I know you have waited beneath the fear. I know you are ready for more gentleness. I give you permission to rise slowly. I give you permission to be seen by me. I give you permission to live without the old story leading every step. Let this be the moment you stop calling the old story your name. You are not your wound. You are not your fear. You are not your history of disappointment. You are not the sentence someone else placed on you. You are not the worst moment you lived through. You are not the silence that hurt you. You are not the love that did not know how to stay. You are a living soul, still becoming, still breathing, still able to choose a kinder path. The old story may say, but I have proof. It may bring memories. It may bring examples. It may remind you of every time love felt unsafe or every time trust felt painful. Do not argue with every memory. Instead, answer from a deeper place. Yes, those things happened. Yes, they mattered. Yes, they shaped me. And still, I am allowed to heal. Still, I am allowed to know peace. Still, I am allowed to create a new pattern. Still, I am allowed to be loved in ways that feel safe and respectful. This is how you honor the past without bowing to it forever. You do not deny the evidence of pain. You add new evidence of care. Every gentle choice becomes new evidence. Every boundary becomes new evidence. Every time you listen to your body, new evidence appears. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, new evidence appears. Every time you stop chasing what hurts and turn toward what supports you, new evidence appears. Slowly, the heart begins to see that life is not only the old pattern. Something else is possible. Your new story does not need to be loud. It can begin quietly. I am safe now. I am learning to trust myself. I can release what is too heavy. I can let love reach me in gentle ways. I do not need to stay loyal to pain to prove that it mattered. I can honor my past and still choose peace. That last thought is important. Sometimes the heart holds on because it fears that letting go means saying the hurt did not matter. But release is not betrayal. Peace is not denial. Healing does not erase what happened. Healing means the pain no longer has to keep hurting you in the same way every day. You can remember with less fear. You can feel with more compassion. You can move forward without carrying the same sharp edge inside your chest. You are allowed to put down the old burden, even if others never understand its weight. You are allowed to stop explaining yourself to the past. You are allowed to stop waiting for every unanswered question to be solved before you let yourself breathe. Some questions may never be answered in the way the mind wants, but the heart can still heal. The soul can still grow. The body can still learn safety. Your life can still become softer from this point forward. There is a freedom that comes when you stop needing the old story to change before you choose a new response. The story may appear, and you can say, "I know this voice. It is fear. I do not need to follow it today." The memory may appear, and you can say, "I remember, and I am here now." The pain may appear, and you can say, "I will not turn this pain into proof that I am unworthy. I will hold it with love and let it move. Let it move." That is the gentle truth. Pain was never meant to become a permanent home inside you. It was meant to be felt, held, understood, and slowly released. When it stays trapped, it can shape the mind into fear. When it is met with kindness, it begins to change form. Tears may become softness. Anger may become boundaries. Sadness may become compassion. Fear may become wisdom. The same energy that once felt like a prison can become a doorway into deeper love for yourself. Ask yourself, what story am I ready to loosen today? Not every story, not the whole past, just one thread. Maybe the story that you must be perfect to be loved. Maybe the story that your needs are too much. Maybe the story that rest is laziness. Maybe the story that your heart cannot trust again. Choose one thread and say, "I am willing to loosen this. I am willing to see a kinder truth. I am willing to let this old belief become less powerful in my life." Willingness is enough for the beginning. You do not need certainty. You do not need to know exactly how. You only need to open a small inner door and say, "I am ready for a new relationship with myself. I am ready to stop repeating pain as if it is my destiny. I am ready to stop using yesterday as the measure of tomorrow. I am ready to let my heart breathe in a new way. And when the old story returns, do not call that failure. Call it practice. Each return is another chance to choose. Each old thought is another chance to answer with love. Each wave of fear is another chance to say, "I am safe now." This is not where I end. This is where I learn to come back to myself. I release the old story one breath at a time. I release the need to punish myself with the past. I release the belief that pain is my identity. I choose a kinder truth. I choose a softer way. I choose to let my heart be free enough to heal. Opening your heart does not mean giving everyone access to you. It does not mean saying yes when your body says no. It does not mean letting the same pain return because you are trying to be loving. A healed heart is not a careless heart. A soft heart can still be wise. A loving heart can still have boundaries. A peaceful heart can still choose distance from what does not feel safe. You can open your heart without losing yourself. For many people, the heart closes because openness once felt dangerous. Maybe loving deeply made you feel exposed. Maybe trusting someone led to disappointment. Maybe being kind was taken for weakness. Maybe giving too much left you empty. When this happens, the heart may decide that the safest way to live is to close. It may say, I will not need, I will not hope, I will not let anyone close, I will not feel too much. And for a while, this may feel like protection, but over time, a closed heart can become a lonely place. The answer is not to throw the heart open all at once. The answer is to create wise openness, the kind of openness that listens, the kind that moves slowly, the kind that honors your inner signals, the kind that says, I can be loving and I can be careful, I can be kind, and I can still choose myself. I can forgive in my own time, and I do not have to return to what harmed my peace. I can allow tenderness, and I can protect my energy. This is where many hearts need healing. They have known only two extremes: either stay fully guarded or give everything away, either close completely or open without limits. But your heart is learning a middle way, a sacred middle way, a way where love includes you, a way where compassion does not require self-abandonment, a way where your peace is not sacrificed just to keep someone else comfortable. Say this clearly inside yourself. My heart is allowed to open safely. My heart is allowed to have boundaries. My love includes me. My peace matters. My inner yes and my inner no both deserve respect. Your inner yes and inner no are part of your guidance. The yes may feel like ease, warmth, space, or quiet trust. The no may feel like tightness, heaviness, pressure, or a closing in the body. You may have ignored these signals in the past because you wanted to be kind, wanted to be chosen, wanted to avoid conflict, or wanted to prove that you were easy to love. But healing asks you to listen again, not with fear, with respect. Your body often knows before your mind has words. When something feels safe, the breath may deepen. When something feels wrong for your heart, the body may become tense. This does not mean every discomfort is danger. Sometimes growth feels uncomfortable too. But there is a difference between the discomfort of gentle growth and the discomfort of self-betrayal. Growth may stretch you while still honoring you. Self-betrayal makes you leave yourself behind. You are learning not to leave yourself behind. That is one of the deepest forms of healing. In the past, You may have crossed your own limits to keep peace outside you. You may have smiled when you wanted to cry. You may have said yes when your heart whispered no. You may have stayed silent because you feared being rejected. You may have carried pain quietly because you did not want to be a burden. But every time you abandon yourself to keep something outside you, the heart learns that your own safety comes last. Now you are teaching it something new. You can be loving and still honest. You can be gentle and still clear. You can be open and still protected. You can care about others without carrying what belongs to them. You can wish someone well and still choose distance. You can hold compassion in your heart and still say, "This is not healthy for me. This is not selfish. This is sacred self-respect." Self-respect is not cold. It is not cruel. It is not pride. It is the quiet knowing that your soul was not created to live in constant self-abandonment. It is the knowing that your heart deserves a peaceful place inside your own life. It is the knowing that love that costs your whole self is not the kind of love that heals you. The heart opens best where truth is allowed. If you have to hide your feelings to be accepted, your heart will not feel safe. If you have to shrink your needs to keep connection, your heart will not feel safe. If you have to silence your intuition to avoid losing someone, your heart will not feel safe. Safety grows where you can be real, where your no is respected, where your yes is not forced, where your tenderness is not mocked, where your boundaries are not punished. Give yourself permission to create this kind of inner environment first. Even before the outer world fully changes, you can become a person who respects your own truth. When you feel something, you can listen. When your body says slow down, you can slow down. When your heart says this is too much, you can believe it. When your peace asks for space, you can give it space. The more you honor yourself inside, the less you will accept situations that require you to disappear. Opening your heart without losing yourself begins with staying present with yourself. When you feel drawn towards someone, something, or some choice, pause and ask, am I moving from love or from fear? Am I saying yes because it feels true, or because I'm afraid of what will happen if I say no? Am I giving because my heart is open, or because I am trying to earn safety? Am I staying because there is peace here, or because I am afraid to let go? These questions are not here to make you suspicious of everything. They are here to bring you back to your center. Your center is the place inside you that can hear love without losing wisdom. It is the place that can feel compassion without becoming responsible for everyone. It is the place that can forgive without denying the lesson. It is the place that can hope without ignoring truth. When you live from your center, you no longer need to choose between being loving and being safe. You become both. There is a gentle power in saying, I can open slowly. Slowly is not fear. slowly can be wisdom. You do not need to rush trust. You do not need to rush closeness. You do not need to rush your heart just because someone else wants quick access to it. A heart that has been hurt may need time to feel where love is steady and where love is only words. Give yourself that time. Let actions show you what is safe. Let consistency matter. Let peace matter. Do not ignore how something feels after the moment is over. Sometimes the mind is busy during an interaction, trying to be kind, trying to respond, trying to keep things smooth. But later, the body tells the truth. Do you feel peaceful or drained? Do you feel open or small? Do you feel respected or confused? Do you feel closer to yourself or farther away? Your after feeling is often a teacher. Listen to it without judgment. This is how you learn to protect your heart without closing it. You do not need to build a wall against all connection. You need doors with wisdom. A door can open. A door can close. A door can allow what is safe and keep out what is harmful. A wall traps you. A door gives you choice. Let your heart have doors, not walls. Let love enter where there is respect. Let peace remain where there is honesty. Let your no be a lock when something does not honor your spirit. Your heart is not wrong for wanting love. It is not foolish for wanting closeness. It is not weak for wanting to be held, understood, or cherished. These needs are human. They are beautiful. The healing is not to stop needing love. The healing is to stop abandoning yourself to get it. The healing is to stop accepting crumbs and calling them enough. The healing is to stop chasing warmth from places that keep making you cold. The healing is to let your own love become the first safe place you return to. I can love without losing myself. I can care without carrying everything. I can be open without being unprotected. I can choose connection that honors my peace. I can let my heart bloom in safe places. Let those words become a new pattern. In safe places, the heart blooms, not through pressure, not through begging, not through confusion, not through proving. The heart blooms where there is respect, kindness, truth, patience, and care. And you can begin by giving those things to yourself. Respect your own limits. Speak kindly to your own heart. Tell yourself the truth. Be patient with your healing. Care for your body like it matters. The more you give this to yourself, the more familiar real safety becomes. Then, when something outside you does not match that safety, your body can notice sooner. You begin to trust the quiet feeling that says, "This does not feel right for me." You begin to honor the peaceful feeling that says, "This is gentle, this is steady, this is good for my heart." You stop confusing intensity with love. You stop confusing attention with safety. You stop confusing being needed with being valued. A heart that is healing begins to love differently. It no longer wants to disappear inside connection. It no longer wants to earn worth through overgiving. It no longer wants to be chosen at the cost of self-respect. It begins to choose peace over drama, clarity over confusion, steadiness over empty words. It does not become cold. It becomes clear. It does not stop loving. It begins loving with wisdom. This wisdom may feel new, and that is okay. At first, boundaries may feel uncomfortable. Saying no may feel strange. Choosing yourself may bring guilt, especially if you were taught that love means always giving more. But guilt is not always a sign that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt is the feeling that appears when you stop obeying an old pattern. Let it be there. Breathe with it. Say, I can feel guilt and still honor my peace. I can feel discomfort and still choose what is healthy. I can be kind without betraying myself. The heart needs to know that you will protect it, not with fear, but with love. It needs to know you will not hand it over to every situation that asks for access. It needs to know you will not ignore its signals for the sake of being liked. It needs to know you will not call self-abandonment kindness anymore. When the heart knows you will stand beside it, it becomes less afraid to open. It can soften because it trusts your wisdom. This is why boundaries are part of healing. A boundary is a loving line. It says, this is where my peace needs care. It says, I respect myself here. It says, I can love you, but I will not lose myself. It says, I can listen, but I cannot carry everything. It says, I can forgive, but I do not have to repeat the lesson. Boundaries do not close the heart. They help the heart stay open in a healthy way. Without boundaries, the heart may open and become overwhelmed. With boundaries, the heart can open and still breathe. Without self-respect, love can become a place of fear. With self-respect, love becomes a place of freedom. Without inner safety, closeness can feel like danger. With inner safety, closeness can be received slowly and wisely. Ask your heart, what would help me feel safe to open again? Maybe the answer is time. Maybe the answer is honesty. Maybe the answer is rest. Maybe the answer is better boundaries. Maybe the answer is letting go of people who only love your giving, not your being. Maybe the answer is learning to speak your needs without apology. Maybe the answer is choosing one safe person, one safe space, or one safe practice where your heart can begin to breathe. Whatever the answer is, honor it. You do not need to rush into a wide open life. You only need to take the next honest step. Maybe the next step is simply admitting, I want to open, but I am scared. That honesty is sacred. It tells the heart, I am not pretending. I am not forcing. I am listening. From that place, healing becomes more real. There is a soft courage in opening again, not because you forget the past, but because you no longer let the past make every decision for you. Not because you become careless, but because you become guided. Not because you never fear, but because you choose not to let fear be the only voice. You can say, I remember what hurt, and I also remember that love can be kind. I remember that I closed to survive, and now I can open with wisdom. I remember the pain, and I choose not to make pain my permanent home. Let your heart open like morning light, not like a door forced in a storm. Slowly, warmly, naturally. Let it open first toward yourself, toward your own breath, toward your own body, toward your own tenderness, toward the simple truth that you deserve care. Then let it open toward life in small, safe ways. A kind thought, a peaceful choice, a moment of gratitude, a boundary that protects your energy, a breath that says, I am here, I am safe now. I can love and still belong to myself. You belong to yourself. Before any relationship, before any role, before any expectation, you belong to yourself. Your heart is not a place to be taken over. It is a sacred space to be honored. Your love is not a tool for earning worth. It is an expression of the life within you. Your softness is not an invitation for harm. It is a gift that deserves respect. Your openness is not weakness. It is strength when it is held with wisdom. I open my heart safely. I honor my own peace. I trust my inner guidance. I choose love that includes me. I allow tenderness without losing myself. I am safe now to open in a way that honors my soul. The voice inside you matters. The way you speak to yourself in quiet moments matters. The words you repeat when no one else is listening can either become a soft place for your heart or another place where your heart feels judged. Many people try to heal the heart while still speaking to themselves in the same sharp way that hurt them. They say they want peace, but their inner voice keeps saying you are not doing enough. You are too slow. You are too sensitive. You should be better by now. My dear, the heart cannot heal deeply while it is being attacked from the inside. There is a voice inside you that may have learned fear long ago. It may sound strict. It may sound impatient. It may sound like it is trying to make you stronger. But often, it is only repeating what pain once taught it. Maybe it believes that if it criticizes you enough, you will be safe. Maybe it believes that if it keeps you alert, you will not be hurt again. Maybe it believes that if it points out every possible mistake, you will avoid rejection. This voice may have been trying to protect you, but protection without love becomes pressure. Protection without kindness becomes a cage. Today you are allowed to change the way you speak to yourself. Not because you must become perfect, not because you must think beautiful thoughts every second, but because your heart deserves an inner voice that feels like warmth, not punishment. Your mind deserves guidance, not fear. Your body deserves words that help it breathe. Your soul deserves to hear that it is safe to exist without being blamed for every feeling. Begin by noticing the tone. Not only the words, but the tone. Is your inner voice gentle, or does it rush you? Does it comfort you, or does it shame you? Does it speak like love, or does it speak like fear, wearing the mask of discipline? Sometimes the words may sound normal, but the energy behind them feels heavy. You may say, "I need to improve," but inside it may carry the message, "I am not enough." You may say, "I should move on," but inside it may carry the message, "My pain is not allowed." You may say, "I have to be strong," but inside it may carry the message, "I am not safe to need anything." Listen closely. Healing begins when you hear what you have been saying to yourself and choose to speak again with love. Instead of saying, "Why am I still like this?" say, "I am learning." Instead of saying, "I cannot handle this," say, "I can meet this one breath at a time." Instead of saying, "I am broken," say, "I am healing in places I once had to hide." Instead of saying, "I should be over this," say, "My heart is taking the time it needs." Instead of saying, "I always ruin things," say, "I am allowed to learn without hating myself." These new words may feel unfamiliar. That is okay. A new voice does not always feel natural at first. If you have spent years hearing harshness inside, kindness may feel strange before it feels true. Do not stop because it feels strange. The body may not trust kindness right away. The heart may wait to see if you really mean it. Keep speaking gently. Keep returning. Keep choosing the voice you want to live with. Your inner voice is like the weather inside your heart. If it is always storming, the heart learns to stay closed. If it is always cold, the heart learns to protect itself. But when the inner voice becomes warm, steady, and kind, the heart begins to come out of hiding. It begins to believe that feeling is safe. It begins to believe that mistakes are not the end. It begins to believe that sadness will not be punished. It begins to believe that it can speak and still be loved. This is why loving words are not small. A loving word can become a doorway. A loving thought can become a place to rest. A loving sentence repeated each day can become a new path in the mind. The old path may still be there, but the new path grows stronger each time you walk it. Every time you answer fear with kindness, you are building a new inner life. Every time you speak to yourself with patience, you are teaching your heart that love can stay. Say this softly. I am safe with my own voice. I speak to myself with care. I guide myself gently. I do not need to shame myself into healing. I can grow through love. Let those words settle. They are simple, but they carry a deep shift. You do not need to shame yourself into healing. You do not need to frighten yourself into change. You do not need to punish yourself for needing time. Real change can come through love. Real healing can come through warmth. Real strength can grow from tenderness. When you wake up in the morning, the mind may quickly reach for old thoughts. What is wrong? What must I fix? What did I forget? What if something goes badly today? Before those thoughts take over, place one softer thought at the beginning of the day. I am safe to move slowly. I can meet today with a gentle heart. I do not have to solve my whole life before I breathe. This day does not need my fear before it begins. That first thought can become a blessing over your day. It does not remove every problem. It does not make every feeling disappear. But it changes the ground you stand on. It tells your body that you are not entering the day as your own enemy. It tells your heart that you are beginning with support. It tells your mind that fear does not have to lead every step. During the day, notice how often you speak to yourself in secret. Notice what you say when you make a mistake. Notice what you say when you feel tired. Notice what you say when someone does not answer. Notice what you say when you look in the mirror. Notice what you say when old sadness rises. These small moments are powerful because they shape the relationship you have with yourself. Healing is not only in big emotional moments. It is in the tiny choices of inner language. If you spill something, can you say, "It is okay, I am human"? If you feel tired, can you say, "My body deserves rest"? If you feel sad, can you say, "My heart is asking for care"? If you feel afraid, can you say, "Fear is here, but love is here too"? If you need time, can you say, "I am allowed to go slowly"? These simple responses may seem small, but they begin to repair what harshness has worn down. Your heart needs to hear that it is not a burden. Say it. My heart is not a burden. My feelings are not too much. My healing is allowed to take time. My tenderness deserves respect. My life does not need to be perfect before I offer myself love. Let the heart hear this again and again. It may have heard the opposite for too long. It may have heard that feelings must be hidden. It may have heard that needs are dangerous. It may have heard that love must be earned. It may have heard that rest is weakness. Now you are offering a new teaching. Feelings can be held. Needs can be honored. Love can be received. Rest can be sacred. You are allowed to exist without earning your right to be gentle with yourself. There may be moments when you forget. You may react from fear. You may speak harshly to yourself. You may fall into an old pattern. Do not use that moment as another reason to attack yourself. That would only repeat the old cycle. Instead, let the moment become practice. Notice it and say, I spoke from fear. I can begin again. I do not need to punish myself for forgetting love. I can return now. Return is one of the kindest words in healing. It means you do not have to stay lost because you wandered. It means you do not have to become perfect to belong to yourself. It means every moment is a doorway back to peace. You can return after one harsh thought. You can return after a hard day. You can return after years of self-blame. The loving voice is not gone because you forgot it. It is waiting for you to choose it again. The inner voice becomes softer through practice. At first, you may need to choose each word carefully. Later, it may begin to come more naturally. One day, you may notice that when pain rises, you do not attack yourself as quickly. One day, you may notice that when you feel tired, you rest without so much guilt. One day, you may notice that when the past visits, you speak to your heart like someone you love. These are signs of healing, quiet signs, powerful signs. Do not wait for someone outside you to speak the words your heart needs. It is beautiful when love comes from others, but your heart also needs your own voice. It needs to know that you will not leave it alone with fear. It needs to know that when sadness comes, you will not shame it. It needs to know that when it opens, you will protect it with kindness. Your own voice can become a healing presence inside you. Speak like this to yourself. I am with you. I am not leaving you. I know this feels hard, but we can breathe. I know this hurts, but we can hold it gently. I know you are scared, but we are learning safety now. I know you are tired, and you are allowed to rest. I know you are healing, and I am proud of every small step. These words may touch something deep. They may bring tears. They may bring warmth. They may bring resistance. Whatever comes, let it be. The heart may grieve when it finally hears kindness because it remembers how long it waited. Let the grief move gently. Let the tenderness come. Let the old hardness soften by one small degree. A soft inner voice does not mean you avoid truth. It means you tell the truth with love. You can say, this choice is not helping me without saying, I am terrible. You can say, I need to change this pattern without saying, I am broken. You can say, I made a mistake without saying, I do not deserve peace. Loving yourself does not mean you never grow. It means you grow without cruelty. That is a deep spiritual practice. To be honest without hate, to be responsible without shame, to be aware without judgment, to be human without rejecting yourself. This kind of inner voice becomes a sanctuary, a place where your heart can bring its fear and not be punished, a place where your soul can rest and be guided, a place where healing is not forced but welcomed. Let your words become a home. Let your thoughts become softer walls. Let your breath become the open window. Let your heart know that the old voice is not the only voice available. There is another voice in you, a wiser voice, a loving voice, a voice that knows you are not here to suffer forever, a voice that knows you are allowed to heal. I choose the voice of love. I choose words that help my heart breathe. I choose thoughts that make my body feel safe. I choose patience where I once used pressure. I choose tenderness where I once used blame. And when the day is ending, speak kindly to yourself again. Do not review the whole day like a judge looking for mistakes. Review it like a loving witness. Notice what was hard. Notice where you tried. Notice where you returned to yourself. Notice one small thing you did with care. Then say, I made it through this day. I am allowed to rest. I do not need to carry today into tomorrow with shame. My heart can sleep in peace. The voice you sleep with matters too. Give your heart gentle words before rest. Let your final thought be less about what went wrong and more about the safety you are learning to build. I am safe now. I did enough for today. I am allowed to rest. Healing is happening quietly. My heart is held in love. Let the inner voice become a soft lamp in a dark room. Not loud, not demanding, just steady enough to show the way back to yourself. Let it remind you that healing is not a race. Let it remind you that your heart responds to love. Let it remind you that you can begin again as many times as you need. You are not late. You are not lost. You are returning through every kind word you give yourself. Receiving love can feel simple from the outside, but for a heart that has been hurt, it can feel difficult. Love may come close, and something inside you may tighten. Kindness may appear, and the mind may question it. Care may be offered, and the body may wonder if it is safe. This does not mean you do not want love. It means part of you learned to be careful with receiving. Part of you may have learned that love can disappear, change, demand, confuse, or hurt. So even when something gentle arrives, the old fear may stand at the door. Be gentle with that fear. It is not your enemy. It is a protector that has not yet learned the difference between old pain and new safety. It may say, do not trust this. It may say, stay guarded. It may say, do not need anyone. It may say, if you receive, you will owe something. It may say, if you open, you will be disappointed. These thoughts are trying to keep you from pain, but they can also keep you from nourishment. Healing means learning to receive slowly, wisely, and with self-respect. Receiving love does not mean losing your power. It does not mean becoming dependent. It does not mean ignoring red flags. It does not mean accepting anything that calls itself love. True receiving begins with your own inner safety. When you are rooted in yourself, Love can come closer without taking you away from your center. You can receive kindness and still listen to your body. You can receive care and still keep your boundaries. You can receive warmth and still move at a pace that feels right. Say this softly: I am safe to receive gentle love. I am safe to receive kindness. I am safe to let care reach me slowly. I do not have to earn every good thing. I can receive without losing myself. For some hearts, this sentence may feel emotional. I do not have to earn every good thing. Let that truth open slowly. You may have been taught that love comes only after giving, pleasing, proving, or becoming easy for others. You may have learned to work for every drop of care. You may have felt that rest must be earned, support must be earned, kindness must be earned, peace must be earned. But your soul was never meant to live as if love is only payment for perfect behavior. You are allowed to receive because you are human. You are allowed to be cared for because your heart matters. You are allowed to be supported because no one is meant to carry everything alone. You are allowed to accept warmth without immediately asking, how can I repay this? Gratitude is beautiful, but guilt is not required. Receiving does not make you weak. It allows life to move in both directions. Giving and receiving are both part of love's flow. If you only give and never receive, your heart may become tired. It may begin to feel unseen. It may begin to believe that its purpose is only to pour out and never be filled. But you are not only a giver, you are also allowed to be held. You are allowed to be listened to. You are allowed to be comforted. You are allowed to be loved in ways that do not require you to disappear. The heart may ask, how do I receive without fear? Begin small. Receive a kind word without pushing it away. Receive a compliment without explaining it away. Receive help without calling yourself a burden. Receive rest without feeling lazy. Receive quiet without filling it with worry. Receive your own breath as a gift. Receive the ground beneath you as support. Receive the present moment as a place where you can soften a little. Small receiving teaches the body that not all openness is danger. When someone says something kind, instead of rejecting it in your mind, let it land for 1 second. When life gives you a peaceful moment, do not rush past it. Let your body notice this is safe. When you feel warmth in your heart, do not immediately search for what could go wrong. Let the warmth exist. You do not have to grab it. You do not have to prove it. You can simply receive it. Receiving requires trust, but trust does not need to be blind. It can be gradual. It can be wise. It can be built through small signs of safety. Real love is not offended by your need to move slowly. Real love does not punish your boundaries. Real love does not demand that you ignore your body. Real love does not make you feel smaller so it can feel powerful. Real love has patience, it has respect, it has steady care. It does not rush the heart open like a door in a storm. Let yourself learn the feeling of safe love. Safe love brings more peace than confusion. Safe love respects your no. Safe love does not require you to betray your values. Safe love does not make you beg for basic kindness. Safe love does not use your tenderness against you. Safe love does not make you feel guilty for having needs. Safe love feels like room to breathe. It may not always be perfect because people are human, but it does not keep pulling you away from yourself. This is important because the heart can confuse familiar pain with love. If you have known uncertainty, calm may feel strange. If you have known chasing, steadiness may feel unfamiliar. If you have known emotional distance, consistent care may feel almost uncomfortable at first. The body may be used to intensity and call it connection. But healing teaches you to ask, does this feel safe or only familiar? Does this bring peace or only excitement mixed with fear? Does this honor my heart or does it repeat an old wound? You are allowed to choose love that feels peaceful. You are allowed to choose care that does not keep you guessing. You are allowed to choose connection that does not make your nervous system live in fear. You are allowed to stop calling anxiety passion. You are allowed to stop calling confusion chemistry. You are allowed to stop calling self-abandonment devotion. Love can be warm without being painful. Love can be deep without being chaotic. Love can be strong without making you disappear. Before receiving from others, practice receiving from yourself. Receive your own compassion. Receive your own forgiveness. Receive your own patience. Receive your own permission to be human. Many hearts reject love from others because they reject love from themselves first. They hear kindness and think, if you knew the real me, you would not say that. But healing says, let me know the real me with love. Let me see my own fear, my own mistakes, and my own tenderness, and still choose kindness. You do not need to hide from yourself to be worthy of love. The parts of you that feel scared are still worthy. The parts of you that feel sad are still worthy. The parts of you that are learning boundaries are still worthy. The parts of you that do not know how to trust yet are still worthy. Worth does not leave when you struggle. Worth does not disappear when you are healing. Worth is not a prize given after you become easy to love. It is part of who you are. Receive that truth, not just in the mind. Let it move down into the chest. I am worthy of gentle love. I am worthy of patient care. I am worthy of kindness that does not hurt. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy now, while I am still healing. The word now matters. Not later, when you have no fear. Not later, when you have no wounds. Not later, when you have perfect confidence. Now, in this breath, in this body, in this season of becoming, you are worthy now. Receiving love may also mean receiving life again. Not only love from people, but love from quiet mornings, warm light, clean water, soft air, a calm room, a kind sentence, a moment of stillness. Life is always offering small forms of care, but fear can make the heart miss them. When the mind is always waiting for danger, it forgets to notice support. Healing invites you to notice support again. Let yourself receive the small good, a peaceful breath, a kind memory, a warm drink, a gentle sound, a moment where nothing is being asked of you, a feeling of softness in your hands. These small moments do not need to solve your whole life to matter. They are reminders that your nervous system can learn another rhythm. They are proof that life is not only struggle. They are little openings where the heart can breathe. There may be grief in receiving. Sometimes when kindness finally reaches you, it touches the place that remembers not having enough. You may feel sadness, not because the kindness is wrong, but because your heart is realizing how long it waited. Let that sadness be held. Do not push it away. Receiving can open old rooms inside you. If tears come, they are not a sign that something is wrong. They may be the heart releasing the ache of having gone without tenderness for too long. Say to that ache, I see you. I know you waited. I am here now. We can receive slowly. We do not have to push love away anymore. We also do not have to rush. We can let care reach us in a way that feels safe. That balance is healing. Not pushing love away, not rushing into it. Letting it reach you slowly. Letting your heart test safety. Letting your body learn that receiving does not mean danger. Letting your soul remember that love is not only something you give, it is also something you are allowed to welcome. You can practice receiving by softening your hands. Open them gently as if life is placing something kind there. You do not need to know what it is. Maybe it is peace. Maybe it is rest. Maybe it is courage. Maybe it is the permission to heal. Imagine not grabbing, not chasing, not begging, only allowing. Allowing is different from forcing. It says, I am willing. I am open to what is kind. I am available to peace in a way that honors me. I am willing to receive good in gentle ways. I am willing to let love feel safe. I am willing to release the fear that every good thing will leave. I am willing to receive without earning, without proving, without losing myself. The fear may still appear. Let it appear. You do not need to wait until fear disappears before you receive. You can receive with a trembling heart. You can receive with tears. You can receive slowly. You can receive one safe moment at a time. Courage is not the absence of fear. Sometimes courage is letting one kind thing reach you even while fear stands nearby. Your heart has given so much. It is time to let it be nourished, not by unsafe places, not by empty promises, not by love that takes more than it gives, but by truth, peace, care, and gentle connection. Let your heart become open to receiving what is steady. Let your soul stop reaching for what keeps hurting. Let your body learn the difference between hunger and love. Hunger grasps. Love nourishes. Hunger fears loss. Love brings calm. Hunger says, I must chase. Love says, I can breathe. You are allowed to stop chasing what does not feed your heart. You are allowed to stop proving your value to receive care. You're allowed to let love meet you where you are. You're allowed to receive life's softness without waiting for permission from the past. I receive love in safe ways. I receive care without shame. I receive rest without guilt. I receive kindness without fear. I receive peace as something I am allowed to know. Let this become part of your healing. Not only releasing pain, but receiving good. Not only closing old wounds, but opening to new warmth. Not only saying goodbye to what hurt, but saying yes to what supports your heart. Healing is not only emptying the hands of old burdens. It is also allowing the hands to hold something gentle again. There may be a part of you still waiting for an apology, waiting for an explanation, waiting for someone to understand what they did, waiting for the past to become fair, waiting for the wound to be seen by the one who caused it. This waiting can feel understandable. The heart wants truth. The heart wants repair. The heart wants the pain to be acknowledged. There is nothing wrong with wanting that. But sometimes healing begins when you realize your peace cannot depend on someone else becoming aware. You are allowed to choose peace even if the past never explains itself. You are allowed to heal even if the apology never comes. You are allowed to stop keeping your heart locked in a room where someone else holds the key. You're free. Edom does not have to wait for another person's understanding. Your healing does not have to wait for the perfect words from outside you. Your heart can begin to come home now. This does not mean what happened was okay. It does not mean the pain was small. It does not mean you are excusing anything. It means you are no longer willing to let the absence of repair become a life sentence inside your heart. It means you choose not to let someone else's silence decide how long you suffer. It means you give yourself the care you needed, even if others did not know how to give it. Peace is not denial. Peace is not pretending. Peace is not saying that hurtful things did not matter. Peace is the choice to stop handing your life force to what cannot love you back. Peace is the moment you say, I cannot change what happened, but I can change how I hold myself now. I cannot force understanding from others, but I can offer understanding to my own heart. I cannot rewrite the past, but I can stop allowing it to write every page of my future. Let that truth become a soft strength inside you. I am allowed to choose peace now. I am allowed to stop waiting for the past to change. I am allowed to heal even without an apology. I am allowed to take my heart back. Taking your heart back is a sacred act. It means gathering the pieces of your attention that have been tied to old pain. It means noticing how often the mind returns to what should have been said, what should have been done, what should have been different. It means gently calling yourself back from those endless rooms, not with anger, with love. Come back to this breath, come back to this body, come back to the life that is still here. The mind may say, but it was unfair. Yes, it may have been. The heart may say, but I deserved better. Yes, you did. The body may say, but I still feel it. Yes, and that feeling deserves care. Choosing peace does not require you to argue against these truths. It only asks that you do not stay trapped inside them forever. You can honor the truth of the pain and still move toward freedom. You can say, this hurt, and I am ready to stop hurting myself with it every day. Sometimes we continue the pain inside by repeating the old scene in the mind. We replay words. We imagine different endings. We ask questions that have no answer. We create conversations that may never happen. This is human. The mind wants completion. It wants the loose ends tied. It wants the story to make sense. But some stories do not become peaceful through more thinking. Some stories become peaceful when the heart receives the care that thinking could not give. If the mind keeps returning to the same place, place a hand on your heart and say, I know you want answers. I know you want justice. I know you want the pain to make sense. I am here with you. We can stop replaying for this moment. We can give the heart comfort instead of another round of questions. Comfort is not weakness. Comfort is medicine. A heart that has been hurt does not always need another explanation. Sometimes it needs warmth. It needs breath. It needs permission to cry. It needs to be told, you deserved tenderness. It needs to be told, I believe you. It needs to be told, you do not have to prove your pain to receive care from me. Say this clearly. I believe my own heart. I do not need to prove my pain to myself. I do not need to keep reopening the wound to show that it was real. I can honor what I felt and still let healing begin. That sentence is powerful because sometimes the heart keeps pain alive as proof. It fears that if it feels better, the wound will be forgotten. It fears that if it moves on, the hurt will be dismissed. But healing does not erase the truth. Healing honors the truth by giving the heart what it needed then and needs now. You do not have to keep suffering to prove that something mattered. You do not have to stay wounded to show that the wound was real. Choosing peace may include forgiveness, but forgiveness is not something to force. It is not a mask. It is not a spiritual performance. It is not saying, I am fine, when you are not. It is not returning to what broke your peace. It is not allowing harm to continue. For some, forgiveness may come as a gentle release. For others, peace may come first as distance, clarity, and self-respect. Your heart is allowed to move in its own time. Do not force the word forgiveness if your heart is not ready. Begin with freedom. Begin with, I want to stop being tied to this pain in the same way. Begin with, I want to care for myself now. Begin with, I want my energy back. Begin with, I want to breathe without carrying this in every thought. That is enough. The heart knows the pace. Let peace be honest, not forced. There is a quiet moment in healing when you stop asking the past for permission to live. You may not announce it. You may not feel dramatic change. You may simply become tired of giving old pain the best of your energy. You may realize that the past took enough. It does not need to take your softness, your sleep, your hope, your future, and your relationship with yourself too. Something inside you may say, I am ready to return to my life. Return gently. Return to small joys. Return to your breath. Return to simple care. Return to the parts of life that feel clean and kind. Return to the morning light. Return to water. Return to rest. Return to the voice inside you that says, I am safe now. Return to the truth that healing is allowed even if the story was never made right by those involved. Peace is not found by winning every argument with the past. Peace is found when the heart stops needing the past to become different before it can soften. This does not happen all at once. Some days you may feel free. Some days the ache may return. When it returns, do not call yourself weak. Say, this is another layer asking for care. I can hold this without becoming lost in it. I can feel this without making it my whole life. Your peace may begin as a small space between thoughts, a moment where you do not replay, a breath where you do not blame yourself, a morning where the old pain is not the first thing you reach for, a quiet decision to stop checking, stop waiting, stop proving. These small spaces matter. They are openings where a new life can grow. Let your heart know we are not waiting anymore. We are not waiting for someone else to understand before we offer ourselves love. We are not waiting for perfect closure before we breathe. We are not waiting for the past to become fair before we create beauty from this moment. We are not waiting to be chosen by what could not hold us. We are choosing ourselves now. Choosing yourself may feel unfamiliar. It may feel too simple after years of pain. But it is not small. It is the turning point. When you choose yourself, you stop placing your healing in hands that may never reach back. You place your heart in your own care. you begin to give yourself the words, safety, and tenderness that were missing. You become the loving presence that stays. I choose peace, even if the past is unfinished. I choose healing, even if the apology never comes. I choose my heart, even if others never understand. I choose to stop hurting myself with what already hurt me. I choose to come home now. Let these words become a clean breath inside you, not rushed, not forced, just honest. I choose to come home now. Coming home does not mean you never remember. It means you remember from a safer place. It means you can look back without falling all the way back. It means the past becomes a chapter, not a prison. It means the wound becomes part of your wisdom, not the ruler of your life. It means you can say, yes, that happened, and still I am here. Still I am breathing. Still I am worthy of peace. There is a strength that appears when you stop waiting for life to repair itself perfectly before you heal. You begin to realize that your soul has power in this moment. You can choose the next thought. You can choose the next breath. You can choose rest. You can choose boundaries. You can choose not to repeat the story for one more hour. You can choose to speak kindly to the place that still hurts. You can choose to live from the present more than from the wound. This is not easy, but it is possible, and you do not have to do it all at once. Choose peace for one breath, then another. Choose peace in one thought, then another. Choose peace in one boundary, then another. Choose peace in one evening where you do not return to the old mental room. Slowly, the heart learns that peace is not a faraway place. It is a choice you can practice in small ways. Your past may be loud, but your spirit is deeper than the noise. Your wound may be real, but your healing is real too. Your sadness may have a voice, but so does your wisdom. Your fear may tell you that you cannot move on without answers, but your soul knows that freedom can begin with care. You are not trapped in what was left unsaid. You are not trapped in what was not given. You are not trapped in who could not see your heart clearly. You are here now. And here is where healing can happen. Let the past be placed gently behind you, not with hate, but with release. Let your hands open. Let your breath deepen. Let your heart feel the space that appears when you stop holding what cannot be changed. You do not need to carry the whole story into every new day. You can take the lesson. You can take the wisdom. You can leave the sharp edge behind. I take my heart back. I take my peace back. I take my breath back. I take my life back. I am safe now to heal beyond what happened. There comes a point in healing when you begin to understand that safety is not only something you find outside yourself, it is also something you build within. A calm room can help. A kind person can help. A peaceful place can help. But the deepest healing begins when your own presence becomes a safe place for your heart. When you can sit with yourself without running. When you can feel without shame. When you can make mistakes without self-hate. When you can comfort your own fear and say, I am here, I am not leaving. Becoming your own safe place does not mean you never need anyone. It does not mean you become alone or closed. It means your first home is within you. It means you do not abandon yourself while looking for comfort outside. It means you can receive love from others without depending on them to hold your whole inner world together. It means that when life becomes uncertain, there is still a steady voice inside you that says, we can breathe. We can take the next step. We are safe in this moment. This kind of safety is built through small acts of loyalty to yourself. Every time you listen to your body, you build safety. Every time you honor a boundary, you build safety. Every time you speak kindly after a hard moment, you build safety. Every time you stop chasing what hurts you, you build safety. Every time you rest instead of pushing past your limits, you build safety. Every time you return to your heart with love, you build safety. You may have spent years trying to be safe by controlling everything outside you, trying to make everyone happy, trying to avoid every mistake, trying to predict every change, trying to keep yourself small so nothing would go wrong. This is exhausting. Control can feel like safety for a short time, but it often becomes a heavy burden. True safety is not needing to control every detail before you can breathe. True safety is trusting that you can meet life one moment at a time with love, wisdom, and support. Say this gently. I can be a safe place for myself. I can listen to my heart. I can honor my body. I can guide my mind with love. I can return to myself in every season. Let the words become steady. You can return to yourself in every season. Not only when life is easy, not only when you feel calm, not only when you make the right choice. You can return when you are tired. You can return when you are uncertain. You can return when you feel emotional. You can return when the old fear rises. You can return when you forget your own worth. Your safe place is not lost because you had a hard day. It is built by returning after the hard day. Many people think healing means never being triggered again. But healing often means you know how to care for yourself when you are triggered. It means you notice the old wave and do not let it carry you away in the same way. It means you can say, this is old fear. This is old pain. This is my body asking for safety. I do not need to shame it. I can breathe. I can slow down. I can choose what supports me now. You become safe for yourself when you stop treating your reactions as failures. A reaction is information. A tight chest may be information. A sudden sadness may be information. A desire to hide may be information. A restless mind may be information. Instead of attacking yourself, ask, what is this part of me trying to say? What does it need? Does it need rest? Does it need truth? Does it need distance? Does it need comfort? Does it need to be reminded that the present is not the past? This question creates inner safety because it tells every part of you that it will be heard. Not every part will lead. Not every fear will decide. But every part can be heard. That is different from being ruled by pain. Listening means you honor the message. Wisdom means you choose the response. Your safe place is made of listening and wisdom together. If you only listen without wisdom, fear may lead everything. If you only use wisdom without listening, the heart may feel ignored. Healing brings them together. You listen to the scared part, and then your deeper self guides it. You listen to the angry part, and then your deeper self helps it become a boundary. You listen to the sad part, and then your deeper self offers comfort. You listen to the tired part, and then your deeper self chooses rest. This is how you become whole inside. Not by cutting off the painful parts, not by pretending they do not exist, but by welcoming them into a safer relationship with your own love. The scared part does not need to run your life. It needs to be held. The angry part does not need to burn everything down. It needs to be respected and guided. The sad part does not need to drown you. It needs a place to cry and breathe. The tender part does not need to hide forever. It needs your protection. Tell these parts now. You are safe with me. I will listen. I will not shame you. I will not let fear lead every step, but I will not abandon fear either. I will guide us with love. I will choose what helps us heal. There is power in becoming the one who stays. Maybe others did not stay in the way you needed. Maybe life changed suddenly. Maybe support felt uncertain, but now you can build a steady inner presence. You can become the one who does not leave your own heart alone. This does not erase the need for healthy connection, but it changes the way you move through life. You are no longer begging the world to give you the safety you refuse to give yourself. You begin within. Then you choose outside connections that match the care you are learning to offer yourself. Your safe place can have simple daily signs. A morning breath before touching your phone. A hand on your heart when stress rises. A glass of water taken slowly. A sentence written in a notebook. A quiet no when something feels wrong. A soft yes when something feels true. A moment where you stop and ask, what do I need right now? These are not small habits. They are the structure of inner safety. Do not underestimate simple care. The heart often trusts what is consistent more than what is dramatic. A big emotional moment can open the door, but daily kindness keeps the room warm. Your heart needs consistency. It needs to know that your love is not only available on good days, it needs to know that when you feel low, you will still speak gently. When you feel afraid, you will still breathe with it. When you feel confused, you will still pause before betraying yourself. Consistency says, I can trust myself. Not because I always know what to do, but because I keep returning to care. Not because I never hurt, but because I do not use hurt as a reason to harm myself more. Not because I never feel fear, but because I can meet fear with a steady heart. You are building a new relationship with yourself. A relationship where you do not need to earn your own love. A relationship where your feelings are welcome. A relationship where your body is respected. A relationship where your soul can breathe. This relationship becomes the foundation for every other part of life. When you are safer with yourself, you choose differently, you speak differently, you rest differently, you love differently. You stop entering places that require you to leave yourself outside the door. Let your inner home be clean of shame. Let it have room for tears. Let it have room for laughter. Let it have room for silence. Let it have room for learning. Let it have room for the person you are becoming. You do not need to fill this home with old blame. You do not need to decorate it with fear. You can make it a place of simple peace, a place where the heart knows, I can come here when the world feels too loud. I am my own safe place. I am my own gentle home. I am my own steady breath. I am my own loving witness. I am safe now inside my own presence. Let this not become pressure. You do not have to feel safe every moment to become a safe place. You only need to practice coming back. Safety grows through repetition. It grows each time you choose not to abandon yourself. It grows each time you pause before speaking harshly. It grows each time you listen to the body. It grows each time you let your heart be honest. There may be days when your safe place feels far away. On those days, keep it simple. Drink water. Breathe slowly. Rest your hands. Speak one kind sentence. Step away from what harms your peace if you can. Ask for support if you need it. Let the day be gentle. Healing does not require you to be strong in the old way. It asks you to be loving in the new way. The old way may have been pushing through everything. The new way is listening. The old way may have been hiding pain. The new way is holding it. The old way may have been proving your worth. The new way is remembering it. The old way may have been waiting for rescue. The new way is becoming present with yourself while also allowing healthy love to support you. You are allowed to be supported. Becoming your own safe place does not mean closing the door to others. It means you stop making unsafe people responsible for your healing. It means you choose support with wisdom. It means you let safe love in, but you no longer hand over your whole piece to people who cannot honor it. You stand with yourself first, and from that place you connect more clearly. There is a beautiful freedom in knowing I can be with myself. I can feel this and not disappear. I can be alone for a moment and not be abandoned. I can be supported and not be powerless. I can be loved and not lose myself. This freedom is quiet, but it changes everything. The heart begins to loosen its grip on fear. The body begins to trust the present. The mind begins to understand that safety is no longer only a dream. It is being practiced here and now. Build this home slowly, one breath, one word, one choice, one boundary, one rest, one act of tenderness. Every day, place another small stone in the foundation. Over time, the heart will know the way back. Over time, the body will believe your kindness. Over time, the mind will stop looking only for danger and begin to recognize peace. I am safe now. I am here now. I am learning to stay with myself. I am learning to become the loving home my heart has needed. I am learning that healing is not far away. It begins in the way I hold myself in this moment. Your heart is allowed to begin again. Not because the past was easy, not because everything has been explained, not because every wound has disappeared. Your heart is allowed to begin again because it is still alive. It is still beating. It is still waiting for kindness. It is still able to soften, able to receive, able to heal in ways you may not yet fully understand. No matter how long you have carried pain, you are not too late for peace. You do not have to become a different person to heal your heart. You do not have to reject who you have been. You do not have to be ashamed of the ways you survived. You only need to bring love to the places that learned fear. You only need to stop fighting your own tenderness. You only need to give yourself permission to move slowly, honestly, and gently toward a new way of being. Today, let the message be simple. I am safe now. I am safe to breathe. I am safe to feel. I am safe to release what is too heavy. I am safe to receive what is kind. I am safe to become my own loving home. Let these words move through the mind and body like soft light. Let them touch the places that have been waiting. Let them remind you that healing does not have to be harsh to be deep. The heart opens through safety, not pressure. You have learned many ways to protect yourself. Some of them helped you through difficult seasons. Thank those old ways, but do not let them become your forever home. You can keep the wisdom and release the fear. You can keep the lessons and release the punishment. You can keep the strength and let softness return. You can honor what happened without living inside it every day. Take one gentle breath and let your shoulders know they do not have to hold the whole story right now. Let your chest know it can soften one small degree. Let your hands know they can open. Let your mind know it does not have to solve every question before peace is allowed. Let your heart know, I am here, I am listening, I am staying. This is the sacred promise of healing. Not that life will never hurt again, not that fear will never rise again, not that every day will feel perfect. The promise is deeper. You can return to yourself. You can meet pain with love. You can choose a kinder thought. You can create safety in your own body. You can protect your peace without closing your heart. You can begin again as many times as you need. If sadness comes, hold it gently. If fear comes, breathe with it. If the old story returns, answer it with a softer truth. If your heart feels tired, let it rest. If love comes close in a safe way, let yourself receive it slowly. If you need a boundary, honor it. If you need time, take it. If you need to cry, let the tears be honest. Every part of you is welcome in the healing. Nothing has to be pushed away for love to enter. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not behind. You are a heart in the process of returning to safety. You are a soul learning that tenderness can be protected, that peace can be practiced, that love can include you. Every small act of kindness toward yourself matters. Every breath matters. Every time you choose not to abandon yourself, healing deepens. Let this be the way forward. Speak softly to yourself. Listen to your body. Release the old story one thread at a time. Open your heart with wisdom. Receive care without shame. Choose peace even when closure is incomplete. Become the safe place your heart can return to, not through force, not through fear, through love, through patience, through the steady truth that you are allowed to heal. I am safe now. I give myself permission to heal my heart. I give myself permission to rest from old pain. I give myself permission to live from love instead of fear. I give myself permission to begin again. My heart is safe with me. My healing is sacred. My peace is welcome. My life can become softer from this moment forward.